Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities. We're going to work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that this guy follows. I'm going to give my financial opinions as we go across the board. And if you need any help, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dig in a little bit deeper into individual companies, and you can see what I'm doing for this commodity bull market that is coming. Use the word discount in the coupon code for a discount if interested. All right, let's dive in here. We've got the DXY. The DXY down a little bit today, down 0.43%, but again, we've squeezed on up. We've pulled back. We do have a large bullish candlestick here, which generally indicates that it wants to go higher. We went up a little bit, and now we've got a little bit more selling pressure in the mix. DXY, kind of a difficult read at this time. I know a lot of people think that this is going to head lower, but it's not showing me that behavior. It looks like this could go sideways to maybe even higher, depending on the next few candlesticks that print will give us a better indication of which direction that is. Because when we look at yields are still looking strong. And the DXY is more of a relative yield indicator between multiple currencies. So that's really what it is. So right now, today, we were down 0.43%. The 2-year up, surprisingly, 0.9% higher. Is this a full retest of basically this squeeze of a rising wedge? Breakout to the downside, a full retest potentially, and then maybe we break to the downside on the short end. That would also indicate that the dollar could fall. So we've got, it's a tough read here, and that's why I kept saying we need more data. We need a couple months or a couple more weeks to show us which way this is going to flush out. Right now, my indication is that this is going to go lower, but that is in contrast to the DXY, which looks like that wants to go higher. So perhaps higher for longer. Maybe the 2 years got this wrong, and then we're going to continue to go up. Maybe this is a false breakdown. I don't know yet. And this is highly manipulated, covered, however you want to say it, by the Federal Reserve. They basically do whatever the 2-year does, the Fed funds rate. So let's see where this thing goes. We're right at a potential turning point where we could head lower. But if we bust on through to the upside, maybe that's the reason the DXY is so strong. Now, the longer end of the curve, TNX up 1.8%, and TYX, which is the 30-year yield, well, that's up 1.8% as well. These still look good to go higher if they want to. They still look good to move on up. The ratio between the two is flat. So today, with a slightly weaker dollar, increasing yields, with a flat TYX, TNX, it's not really a huge help to gold and silver. So I would expect them to be kind of flattish, just kind of looking at this data. Bond prices did get hit pretty good with those yields going up, bond prices going down 1.62% on the 20-year. This isn't convincing here that this is necessarily going to turn around. This is a pretty big, strong selling pressure day there. We've got a lot of stuff going on. I think we need to get some more data, see what this looks like. But overall, guys, this still looks like it wants to go lower for bond prices. Gold down a little bit. This is a bloody nose. It's generally a continuation pattern to the upside. A small profit-taking day right at resistance. And we didn't really sell off too hard here. So makes me think that we could see an upward move, hopefully, over the next few trading sessions. Silver getting that same bloody nose. Looks like we're bleeding profusely across the board here. Big tall guy with a little profit-taking day. It's generally a continuation pattern to the upside. But I will say, We are underneath resistance. This trend line here, we are still underneath that resistance line. We haven't broken out yet. And all we can muster was a small little down day today. So that still remains positive at this time. Platinum kind of bucked the trend. It was up 14.5 bucks or so. It looks good. We're right on the lower support level, and it is holding. Maybe we can get a little move to the upside here. Palladium up 0.55%, and this guy has still got some downward momentum. I know some people are drawing trend lines in here. They think that perhaps this could break, and maybe it could. There's the trend line they've been drawing in terms of the falling wedge, and we could break to the upside. Well, let's wait and see this break to the upside for Palladium. XAU to gold ratio up 1%. People are positioning in GDX, GDXJ, and SILJ. XAU, it's the gold and silver mining companies. They're positioning the gold and silver mining companies. This could very well continue higher alongside gold and silver if we get the right market conditions. But unfortunately, we are still underneath the big long-term resistance line that I consider to be the breaking the line for happiness for gold and silver investors, gold, silver mining company investors. But let's see if we can get a little bit of action here to the upside. It looks like that could potentially be the case. CRB index down a little bit with oil down a little bit. Still looks good to go higher. I don't see any problems here. That's the same type of bloody nose that we were seeing in gold and silver. CRB to S&P 500 down a little bit. It's the same bloody nose. It's getting a little bit of volatility, but this still has the momentum moving to the upside. It's probably some sort of flag pattern that we are getting. So we'll see if we can break tomorrow. GDX right at that resistance line back here. Going across the peaks and the bottoms of all these. Strong resistance right ahead of us. GDXJ, same thing. SILJ, same thing. We've got overhead resistance in all of them. Crude oil down 0.75%, continuing the bloody nose category there. I still think we're going to go higher. Why do I think that? Well, we broke this kind of downtrend there with a good move. And all we could muster is this little bloody nose, a little profit-taking day. So I still think this looks good to continue on higher, or we go a little bit more sideways, either one. We could have a little small down day next to it like this, and then we rip it. Something on lines of that. TTF gas, a little bit stronger selling pressure in the nat gas market. But again, everything is indicating that we're going to go higher with time, breaking out of this pattern here. Nice strong break there. Getting jiggy with it. Natural gas in America, Henry Hub, we got the breakout. We got the fake out before the makeout. Something like that. I don't know. A little bit of a wick on the bottom. So I think this is a reversal candlestick. Potentially, you can see that we reversed. Ba-bam. And we're looking for a move higher out of nat gas. And I like to see big green candlesticks, small selling pressure, and then we rip. That's generally what I see in the markets, and we've got support underneath us. So everything looks A-okay. XOP, yeah, you know me. I didn't want to leave anybody hanging there. I get it. So looking at the dailies here, we're right on top of support. Now, here's one thing that looks very good. We've got a 1% up day in XOP at the same time that we've got crude oil down 0.8%. I like seeing that type of stuff. I like seeing the divergence in it, and I like seeing the outperformance of XOP. Yeah, you know me. We are against this neckline. I know some people are getting antsy for the neckline to break. When we see the neckline break, it's going to be a see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, and get out of here. So it's going to be a move to the upside, to the upper right. And how fast it goes, we'll find out. Sometimes when they break through these large resistance levels, sometimes they put in a big fat candlestick where you get an imbalance of buyers versus sellers. We're wearing down the sellers at this trend line. That's what we're doing. It's taken time. We smoked it here. Bam! Hit it, came on back. Hit it, came on back less. Hit it again, came on back less. And then boom, we're going to come out. So basically, you're creating kind of a wedge formation here. Much like uranium did, which I can show a couple slides from here. So that looks good. OIH down a little bit, down 0.14%. Looks like we're creating some sort of resistance line through here. Maybe we can break on through it. Maybe it's not creating a resistance line, but we don't have much selling pressure. Oil sold off. Yeah, it just shrugged it off. Said, I don't care. Oil's down 0.8%. I don't care. Down 0.14. Makes me think that we have some bullish price action that could come. Sprott. Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. What are we doing here? This is what I drew in I don't know, 4 or 5 trading days ago, whatever it is. We do have a little bit more selling pressure today. That is something that we're seeing. There's my squiggly line there. You can see it's pretty close to that I guessed, to the actual movement. We'll see what this does, if we can hold support here or if we're going to break down and get a little bit larger selling pressure move. This is a larger selling pressure candlestick today, and we'll have to see the support line hold tomorrow. URA also getting a little bit stronger selling pressure day. This is a bearish engulfing, which generally heads lower, but it's also at the end of a trend or end of a candlestick. So we'll see if we bounce out. We could do a false breakout. The slingshot cheetah is what I refer to. But again, a little bit selling pressure there. URNM's getting it too, right on support. We'll see if it holds tomorrow. And then URNJ getting a little bit more selling pressure, but this is normal for something that's a little bit more leveraged. Obviously, I could put kind of a trend line there, and we've got some sort of trend line coming maybe through here that it could look like. If we button it up to the closing prices, that's basically what it would look like. So is this going to be a falling wedge where we break, or is this going to be a head and shoulders that we break the neckline here that we've just broken? We'll find out over the next few trading sessions. TAN still holding on to support. It actually looks good to move higher. It's a bullish piercing pattern. That's where you've got the closing price of yesterday's trading action. It gaps down, and then we trade back up throughout the day. So what it did is it gapped down in the morning, and then we traded back up. That oftentimes is a reversal of a trend. So this does look like it's holding on to it, and we could head higher here in TAN. COPX getting a nice good little bounce off the bottom of this super awesome channel that we've been trading in, and we haven't updated it. We'll see what copper looks like. The futures pricing later on. Lithium up a little bit. We're still at that support-ish level, and we'll see if we get back inside the pattern. REMX doing the same thing, much like lithium. Let's see if we can get inside the pattern. SPX, stronger than I would have believed, up 1%. This is your bullish engulfing. This is your bearish engulfing, fighting each other. Right now, we'll see where we go. But again, we're sitting underneath. Okay, maybe not that far out. We're sitting underneath this resistance line. We got to get back up if we want to move higher. NASDAQ's the same way. We're underneath the trend line break to the downside. It is struggling a little bit. Those aren't massive green candlesticks, but we do have some bullish engulfings here. We do have a bearish engulfing here. The buyers and sellers are kind of dueling it out against each other, and we'll see which way this thing breaks here shortly. The regional banks is holding on, up 2.5% today, which is quite big. Almost like this was going to be an inverted head and shoulders, and it's just been moving sideways ever since. But Right, regional banks looking all right, but not great. We still need to break this trend line, which is very much possible. We just got to wait and see if it does it. Emerging markets putting in a bullish engulfing that could go higher here. If we see weaker yields, weaker dollar, I think we could see this move on up. Conversely, if we see stronger yields and stronger dollar, it's going to go on down. XHB, it's holding on as well. Today up 1.4%. We do have a lot of big red candlesticks in that circle there. That is not generally what you see when you want to go higher. It's generally what you see when you want to sell off in in those candlesticks. Move up 0.5%. This looks constructive. Why do I say that? This is a nice kind of move up to the upside, and then I see this nice little tidy pullback. I think this looks like we could reverse here and move on up. So I think it looks really good. And we'll see if that is true over the next few trading sessions. Copper still holding on. It still looks tidy, much like Moo did. Kind of a bigger move here, and then small 4 candlesticks down, and it looks like we could try to reverse here. So let's see the buyers come in and bring it if they want to reverse it here. They got to bring it here. Iron ore breaking its downtrend line. That's looking fantastic. It's also broken out of the bigger pattern here, so look for a move to the upside for iron ore. I think it looks really good. And we saw a lot of the diversified mining companies that are heavily exposed to iron ore and steel do quite well today. So I think that's a spot to look. Nickel still being manhandled by your boy JP Morgan. Remember, that's not my boy, that's your boy. So nickel heading lower. I wouldn't get in front of it. Let it go down. Aluminum also heading a little bit lower today. Down 0.44%. We're right at that support level, and we'll see if it'll hold. Baltic Dry Index up a little bit, probably with iron ore. Still looks good to continue higher. Newcastle Coal up 0.23%. I think sideways to higher until we break out of here. I'll draw the trend line here, guys, so you guys can see it. It's basically a trend line that goes through here. We used as support here, as resistance here. We got to break back through that. Break back through support, and we'll be off to the races. But we go. My guess is we're going to go higher or sideways for a period of time, and we've got support underneath us. If we were to dip back down, that is completely possible. But I like coal where it's at. It's already gotten a pretty strong move lower. Nat gas has already broken to the upside. I think coal's just going to follow behind it. Bitcoin up massively, 5.25% today, with a big fat wick. I don't know what's going on there, but nice strong move today. Just not as strong as it could have been if it went all the way and closed towards its closing price. So this is the short term. Let me see here. This is the 1 day. We had a massive spike here. There's your spike, and then there's your move lower. Didn't really impact it. I like how this just kept moving up. Very strong. So maybe liquidity's coming. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows something that we don't know, but not a bad day for Bitcoin. And Ethereum up 2.3%, getting that wick at the top too. Still underneath a lot of resistance though. It looks okay. It looks okay. And you know, this could be a double bottom. And then you get a nice kind of consolidation before a big move. I think what it's doing is just waiting for liquidity to come back into the system. That's my guess. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website if you'd like. Join our community. But yeah, I'd like to get at least another couple of weeks of information here to make a conclusive, more of identifying where this trend is going to go in yields. Where's the trend going to go in the DXY? What is copper telling us? It's just hanging out there going sideways, giving me conflicting information in the short term. If we see yields dive and copper dive and all these things dive, well, maybe there is a slowdown coming in the market and we see the yield curve uninvert. Okay, then it's at least obvious, right? Right now, it's not so obvious. We've got iron ore breaking to the upside, Baltic Dry Index breaking to the upside. It's like, wait. If this was going to be a recession, why are people positioning in iron ore and the Baltic Dry Index, which is generally higher, not lower. Copper's still sitting there. It's not giving us a clear signal. Maybe it's sniffing out slowdown somewhere in the world and expansion in other portions of the world. So again, let's wait and see what the data tells us over the next few weeks. All right, guys, that's all I've got for today. We'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.